Jacob, what really stood out to me, man, from watching our highlight video was just your cuts that you made of getting that one cut and boom, getting vertical. Being a former running back coach myself, I understood the importance of boom, you got to make that one cut and you got to get vertical. You can't dance, can't have choppy feet. It's got to be one cut and go. And you did a really good job of that. Now, my suggestions for your highlight video are the following. Okay, the first thing is to add an information slide at the very beginning. And on this slide, you want the information of your name, school, graduation year, position, height and weight, X account, email, and phone number. And the best way to go about this is to go on Canva, all right, and this is free. You'll go on there, you'll go to one of their slides, you put the information I just listed on the left, put a picture of you on the right, download that, and then upload that to the very first thing on your video. And the reason we want to do that is so all of your information is there and it's accessible to the coach. Okay, he's got all your tangibles for your height and weight, how he can follow you on X, how he can get in contact with you via phone number. All right, and the reason we want to do that too is because a college coach's time is so short and valuable. It makes it tough for them, and they just personally don't have the time to go find a kid's phone number or find a kid on X, okay? And personally, I've had to pass on a kid before because I can't find that information. So just make sure you have all that there. That makes it easier for them to get in contact with you and just doesn't hinder you in that aspect. Now, next, removing plays / non-highlights, okay? And this is more anything that doesn't showcase your strengths or transfer to the next level as much, okay? We want to be able to move that needle. Say you're a 10 on a coach's board, we take some of these plays out, boom, now you're bumped up to a 5 or higher, okay? And so that's kind of what we're looking for. Now, with your film, we need to trim it down, okay? Because film needs to be no more than 5 minutes, okay? And just because coaches are watching 60 to 100 kids in a day, and so sometimes I've seen coaches only watch the full 5 minutes. All right, so just trim that down because they're not going to watch the videos that are that long, just because they have, like I said, they've got a bunch of kids they got to go. Okay, that's why we want to choose our best plays. So within this, what I've done is I've got some of your ones over that I think are the best here in a second that we'll talk about later. But just to kind of give you an example, at the 7:04 mark here, okay, this is one I would take out, and the reason being is because there's not as much aim. You stop the clip short. All right, like I said, we only get maybe 4 yards instead of a big play, okay? And so taking that out will kind of help out. And the thing also to really with your film is to not necessarily be a play-by-play through the game and game-by-game. You want to mix stuff up a little bit. Put your best plays first, okay? That stuff, it matters more than going game-by-game, okay? What's also going to help you out is with your timeline is trimming down your plays. You only, before the ball snap, you only need to be 2 or 3 seconds before. After the whistle's blown, again, 2 or 3 seconds after, okay? That'll help kind of clean up that time and make things sure with you in that window. Now, we need to also remove the captions, the ones that say watch this, and it's more your spot shadows, so just change those. Those timestamps are listed there. Okay, that will help out. You need to remove background sound. Okay, this will help remove distractions between those captions and removing the background sound. Because a college recruiter, like I said, they're watching so many kids that it will help. It will distract them, and we don't want that to happen to you. Okay, next, going over your sequence of plays. All right, we want to start off with long TDs, short TDs, explosives, which are anything 15 to 20 plus yards down the field. Your short TDs are your red zone plays, all right, and then blocking, because as a running back, no block, no block, no rock, okay, and then follow that up with your remaining offensive highlights. And this is more necessarily not an explosion play, but still good plays that showcase what you can do, okay. Now, the reason we want to have the plays like this is because we want to have the best play to start each section, all right, and how I've got these timestamps is how I would do it. But coaches like 6, that's why we started with touchdowns. Okay, then I like the big play, then the blocking plays, and then kind of the other stuff that falls in between the main offensive highlights. So that's why we kind of do that. Okay, because a coach, like I said, they're watching so many kids that within the first minute they're going to decide whether they're going to keep watching your film or go on to the next kid. So we want to put our best plays within that. Within each of these sections, we want to have our best 3 to 5 to 6 clips. Now, say one doesn't have as many than the other, that's fine. You can compensate and put more in one section than the other. Okay. But that's what we're really aiming for to be, and that will kind of help clean up things for that time frame as well. Now, to go over these clips at the 2:25 mark here, okay, to go over your short touchdown, the one I would start out with, all right, it's a great job here, okay, sticking this thing, getting vertical, going through, running through tackles and everything else. That's a fantastic job still driving the feet, okay. Then go into the explosive plays. This is the one I start out with the 5:37 mark, and this is why we want to move this stuff up, okay. This is a great run, and we don't want this to be so far behind that the coaches stop watching. So, like I said, press, boom, cut, get vertical, and this is a great job here. Okay, fantastic job showing off the speed. That's what we're really trying to show off as well. Be able to pull away in that cut. Okay, that's a great job there. Next, going to the 153 mark. Okay, on this one here, all right, it's kind of the same thing. Showing the cut, showing the one cut deal. Get vertical. There's a zone step. Boom, get vertical, and we're exploding at it, showing your strength there. Okay, not going down on first contact. All right, that's something that they're really going to look for as well. And follow that up with the blocking and the remaining offensive highlights. We want to go to 404. Okay, and like I said, these are clips that I'm saying that I would start off these sections with. Okay, so on the 404 clip here. All right. What we're looking for, like I said, the main offensive highlight. Okay, we don't necessarily get 15 yards, but it's still showcasing your strength. We've got extra 3 or 4 yards after our first contact. Okay, great job there in showing that. And then going to your 56-second mark. Okay, this is just also kind of the same deal, being able to show this stuff off. All right, boom, there's the cut, get vertical, and just run through, guys. All right, that's going to kind of showcase what you can do in that stance. So, like I said, trim that stuff up. Okay, that will really help out. All right, add the information slide, remove that one play and then others as well, remove the sound and the captions, and overall this will provide a more dynamic highlight view for college coaches. Now, after going over the game film feedback, let's take a look at what divisions you should target. I'm basing this off of the most recent highlight video, which is exactly what college coaches are going to do, and where the athlete can receive your scholarship right now. Okay, I want you to understand that this is a current evaluation of the film. We just went over a post or projected evaluation. Okay, I'm not projecting anything. I'm going off the current. All right, and with that being said, there's a few criteria that we look at. Okay, first thing is graduation year. Okay, you've got a couple of years. Use this to know what we need to improve upon, what coaches are looking at, and kind of get ahead of the ball game. Next, they're going to look at size, foot speed, long speed, and then strength. All right, that's what a running back college coach will look at. With that being said, the levels you should look at today for a scholarship are D3 and NAIA. Now, you should maybe start getting interest from these schools, but maybe not yet, just due to your graduation year. Okay, and so with that being said, that doesn't mean that you can't start the communication process with them by calling them and emailing them right now. Okay, go ahead and start that process. Get your name out there. All right, you can start getting your name out there through social media. Make sure you're following these coaches on X. Make sure you're DMing these coaches. Once you update your video, boom, send it to them. Update the highlight video. Okay, but we want to send that stuff as well. All right, because they're gonna check things on your marketing and stuff like that, because we got to make sure we're marketing and bringing yourself in the correct way. But when they check that stuff as well, we need to know if they like our highlight video or not. Okay, going into these camps and stuff like that, we need to know whether or not the coach likes our highlight video, because if he doesn't like our highlight video, we can put our money towards a different camp to where maybe a coach does like our highlight video. Okay, he wants to see us in person. He wants us to come to this camp. Okay, you go to these prospect camps, there's 1,000 kids there. You get a 40-page paper as a coach. It's hard to really get a true evaluation on kids. Okay, so that's where sometimes going to the right camps, make sure we're communicating with these coaches and stuff like that really helps pay dividends towards putting our money towards the right camps. Right, because when you start to do that and a coach likes you, then you can introduce yourself to that coach and you start to build that relationship. All right, because college football is all about relationships. Because then, I mean, they've seen that stuff. You started building that relationship. You send them that mid-season highlight now. They're gonna know who they're watching. Okay, that gives you a big upper hand. All right, but how can we also go attack these levels and get better? Okay, my suggestion to improve your game that translates to college football and possibly a higher division are the following. The first thing is strength training. Got to make sure we're adding good weight. Okay, that explosion and power that's going to translate to the college game. All right, because you listen to everybody now, they're talking about explosion. Okay, because you get to college, everybody's going to be bigger, faster, and stronger. All right, and it all starts from the ground up. Okay, guys start with the squats and everything else, and then the single leg stuff without explosion. Working on foot speed, dot drills, ladder drills, cone drills. Got to be able to put the foot in the ground and get vertical when that small crease opens up and outside zone or pin and pull. We talked about some of that with your single cuts, but when you're running outside, you got to take a few more steps. We got to be quicker at it and boom, get vertical. All right, long speed, that track work. Okay, if you ain't in track, you got to be in track. Okay, that's going to help with that speed training. You get called for a deep ball on a route, you got to be able to take the top off and not get caught. But college coaches also want those players who are going to hit the second level and be gone, and no one's going to catch them. Okay, so that's something that's really going to help out. Next, continue to develop a running back craft. Okay, working on some bag drills. You got to be able to press inside zone, then jump cut that thing and hit backside A gap and get vertical. All right, developing a deep and quick game route tree. Okay, OCs are flexing those running backs out more and more. Okay, because it makes it harder on a defense. So they want guys who can kind of play outside a little bit. All right, so understanding that stuff, how to run routes, understanding inside and outside stuff. And with that comes jugs and tennis ball. Work on your hand-eye coordination. When I coach receivers, every small drill we did, we finished with a catch with a football or tennis ball. You got a couple screen plays. Okay, show that stuff on your film. All right, but you also got to do it. You got to make sure that you're doing that. So when you're running flat routes, whip routes, swing routes, stuff like that. Okay, that way you're still working on that and you'll be ready to go. Ball security. This one is huge, high and tight. Okay, you can practice this doing footwork drills, sprints, bag drills. And here's the deal: if you can't protect football, your chance of playing is going to go down. That's just the nature of it. When I was a former running back coach, all the time I was saying high and tight, high and tight, high and tight. That was drilled into their brains. Okay, because you got to take care of the football. Lastly, flexibility. Okay, pre and post training stretching. You guys don't do it as a team. You got to do it on your own. It's very important. All right, because this is going to also help prevent injury. All right, your best ability is your availability. Okay, because if you're dinged up and nicked up, that's going to hurt your chances of video, which will then hurt your chance of an offer. But if you're dinged up and nicked up in college, that's going to hurt your chance on the depth chart. So we've got to make sure we're taking care of our body. Okay, and all these improvements are what a running back college coach will look at. So double down, do all these things, hit it hard, and if it translates to your video, this can help you level up your evaluation and possibly have an opportunity at that upper NAIA level to lower to mid D2 level. But Jacob, at the end of the day, man, everything's going to come down to your individual work, your outreach, as well as your marketing on social media, and your relationship building with college coaches, which is why the next step is your athlete interview, where you're going to get an interview with the coach and get coached on communication and your interviewing skills, which is critical for the conversations you're about to start having with college coaches. So make sure you watch the video beforehand and be ready to go. If you have any questions, we'll be able to answer them at the end of the interview.